Namaste, everybody. I'm really happy to be back with you, creating a introduction yoga video to explain what yoga really is all about after all, and what is yoga therapy versus yoga. There is a lot of confusion about these subjects, even though it sounds like it's an easy answer, because yoga is everywhere, in hospitals, in fitness centers, all the churches and synagogues and mosques and all the temples offer yoga. There's a lot of confusion. So I thought to create an introductory video to share with you my take on what yoga and what yoga therapy are, and to bring it home so that you can evaluate and decide for yourself what really is necessary, what sounds good for you, and so we go from there. So first of all, I am Sara, and I have been practicing yoga since 1999 and teaching yoga for about the same amount of years. And now it's 2022, and I am very excited to be sharing many videos with you to help you live your yoga, meaning utilize, adapt, and practice all these principles for your well-being, physical, mental, emotional. It's a spiritual practice. And so it is that I start with explaining what yoga is. So first of all, yoga is a word in Sanskrit language. Yoga was written and spoken in Sanskrit language. It's a very old, ancient language that it's really coming alive these days. Many scholars, many of my teachers, Shambhavi, Dr. David Frawley, many teachers are now actually speaking, utilizing, writing, and translating a lot of scripts from the old ancient history of yoga philosophy. So yoga is a Sanskrit word that means harmony and alignment. It means union, yoke. So what does it really mean when it comes to your life? It means, are you present with yourself? When you are keeping your yoga in mind, when you are practicing and living your yoga, are you here now in this moment? You and I talking, connecting, eye to eye, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, heart to heart. And are you here now? All of you. Is your attention here? Are you breathing consciously? Are you calm? Are you relaxed? Are you focused? Or do you have things to worry about? Do you feel some nervous energy through you? Do you feel anxious? So yoga means being in alignment with what is. Is your mind, is your body, is your breath, your thoughts, your energy, your attention. Are you here all at once, same moment, in time and space, right here? Are you completely present with yourself in your body? That's what yoga is all about. So yoga was spoken in Sanskrit language, and it was a hidden art, philosophy, a hidden discipline. It's kind of like a secret, like teacher to pupil. And the years went by, and for thousands of years that was practiced that way. So there was no evidence, there's no written anything, till many thousand years later. Well, the classical period of yoga, which dates back to like say 2,500 years ago until now, there was a man called Patanjali, and many say there were several teachers, generation by generations, that they all went under the name of Patanjali to write the book called the Yoga Sutras. So Yoga Sutras is a book that, sutra means thread, like stitch. So it's almost 200 stitches, meaning verses, threads, philosophies, skills, techniques, whatever you want to call it, sections. So Patanjali wrote this book. By the way, I hear and I've read and studied quite a bit. I love history and philosophy and just have a love for wisdom, for knowledge, for ancient times and the knowledge, the secrets they had. So I read quite a bit, and Yoga Sutras was written, they say Patanjali, that might actually be several teachers that wrote the book. But if it was just one Patanjali, suppose, mathematician, teacher, scientist, philosopher, and also a yoga practitioner, yoga scholar, and an artist. So I think all of those combined is really what makes up philosophy. And so it's interesting. I thought to share that with you. So the Yoga Sutras is finally a compilation of all the secrets of what is really yoga. And yoga is described in the very first and second verses that it says yoga is about restraining the fluctuations of the mind. And then the rest of the book explains and teaches how to do so. And it is profoundly interesting. And it is not a book that it's like a scholarly written anything. It's very simple explanations of the I suppose fluctuations of the mind, of the games our minds play, and how to understand and bring it all into consciousness, and how to practice calming it, controlling it when you understand it, making choices, treating those things that come up in our minds in an adult, wise, conscious way. And I want to say to you that yoga is about that. The yoga poses are only the visible part of yoga. Yoga and yoga poses is what I'm referring to, yoga postures. The asanas are the only visible aspect of yoga. And so, because in the West, we have always believed, our mentality in the West is such that if you cannot see it, it doesn't exist. But yoga discipline is an energy system, and it is a system that is based in the inner world of our existence, meaning our thoughts, our emotions. What gets those thoughts to come up? How do we control and understand? And how do we work with our energies? I will create other videos describing about what is energy and how we manage and balance our energy systems as well. And so yoga is about understanding our mind so that we're not being controlled by the different parts of the mind that make not so positive choices for our lives. Negative patterns can be stopped once you understand your mind. It's also, it might be interesting for you to know, yoga started only with 11 seated postures. It was for thousands of years about meditation. And a teacher and a student will sit knee to knee, and the teacher will teach and help the student feel and listen and to understand and to practice it and experience it. So seated postures, and now hardly anyone, most people are not comfortable sitting on the floor. So seated postures are very important. I will be creating other videos about the posture, the alignment of the spine, our physical body. I will have other videos explaining the details of our alignments and why it is important. So yoga addresses the physical body by aligning the body in different postures. We align and allow the energy of the body to flow freely. When energy flies, or rather flows freely through the body, mind quiets and the body heals itself even faster, because the body heals itself. That's what the body does the most, the best, and it's always healing itself. So yoga is addressed in the West mostly using physical movements, physical postures, and versus yoga therapy. Yoga therapy is a link between yoga and psychology. So when a person is awakened to their truth, you know, we all wake up one day, and you might probably remember that time for you. It might be now that you are listening to this video, that you come to a point in life and say to yourself, what I'm doing is not working for me. I have done everything that I thought would bring me happiness and peace, but it's not it. I bought that house, I bought that car, I got that education degree, I got that job, I got the partner, I got the family, I got this and that, but nothing is bringing me to that peace, to that contentment, to that satisfaction, to that joy and happiness that I thought it would. And most people that come to me are at that point in their lives. They want to understand why they feel the way they feel. Why do their lives repeating the same old negative patterns? And there's a lot of questions that come up, right? And so yoga therapy is addressing the person's healing and well-being, answering those questions as a whole person. Because we're not robots, right? And we're not bad, but secretly we all think. Most people say, I feel that I'm not good enough. But we really think that we're not good enough, that we're not capable, that we cannot cope, and that we're not worthy and valuable. Unless, fill in the blank, we have high expectations and ideas about how we should be, what we should be doing, what we should look like. And so we're always, well, always is a big word. Most of the time, most people keep doing things, accumulate things, and go places and do things and fulfill needs so that they can feel okay. Yoga therapy is inside job. It's our inside homes. We really live inside of our bodies. Our bodies are the map quest. Our bodies are what communicate to us who we really are and how we need to be treating each other, or ourselves rather, and each other, of course. So the body, learning the body's language, giving the body and mind what it needs, from nutrition to supplementations to lifestyle, and to deeply understand through yoga poses, meditation, and many other techniques, like such as breathing exercises, energy work, through visualization, a lot of different practices that the person can have breakthroughs within themselves to bring peace, contentment, and well-being and health. So to give you another example, yoga therapy versus yoga, they both are also the same way as addressing the person, what we think about, what we feel, what we say, what we do, and all of that, of course, towards our own selves, about the language we use. So yoga is about learning to speak, think, feel, and create experiences in a positive way, truthful, integrous, with dignity, with honesty. But of course, we all have wounds to our minds, to our egos. And as a child, we all were born in as beautiful, innocent, perfect babies. But then the first few years of our lives, starting from conception to about ages 6 or 9, we are programmed and our belief systems are already set because emotionally we're very much developed at those ages. But cognitively, we're not developed at all. So when something happens, anything less than nurturing, which in the West we call it trauma. So all the things that happen to us, around us, for our loved ones, for our caretakers, for our siblings, in our homes, in our foundational places like school and preschool, at homes, in our little communities, all that happens, the child's mind wants to make sense and have an answer, an idea, an explanation of why these things happened. And because the child's mind is not cognitively developed yet, the child mind concludes any derivative of these three. It must be me. It's my fault. I'm not good enough. I can't cope, because emotionally so intense. And so the child believes that it cannot cope, it cannot manage, it cannot control, and also that the child believes and concludes that I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, I'm not capable. And so we grow up as a 9-year-old. We are adult bodies in a 9-year-old mindset. So yoga therapy addresses all that, and inner child healing, which is the inner child mind, is what I call the ego. So the ego is a confusing word also. So all of that is explained and healed and loved through yoga therapy. And so yoga is a system that we utilize to heal the body-mind and to also be able to experience ourselves in a no-mind zone, when we can experience ourselves beneath the mind, to be able to concentrate so deeply and to meditate and relax so deeply that we can have a glimpse and experience of our own true essence, our goodness, our power, our capabilities, our goodness when it's tasted, when it's experienced, even but for a moment in time, through these wonderful, ancient, effective and powerful, empowering techniques. We then know in an experiential way that we can heal. We can do this, that we deserve to heal, that we can and we deserve the best, that we deserve peace, optimal health, and well-being, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that we are powerful beings, we are precious and wonderful, valuable, capable, lovable. So in a nutshell, yoga is not an easy word to explain what it is. Yoga is very vast. It has about 8 to more thousands of years of history. Lots and lots of books have been written in Sanskrit that are being translated now by scholars, by Sanskrit scholars. And Yoga Sutra Patanjali has been translated in over 100 more languages. But you know, my take on this yoga therapy as a certified, registered yoga instructor, experienced yoga instructor for over 9,000 hours of teaching and helping people, and as a certified yoga therapist, a Vedic counselor and hypnotherapist, and all of these techniques that I have been certified in and teaching, helping thousands of people to really find their goodness and claim their power, is such that as a person with my experience, I know that we don't really have any use or benefit, even though we enjoy reading philosophy. But it doesn't do any good if we're not able to bring it home to our own selves, our own daily lives, to help heal our relationships with ourselves, with the parts of our own selves that doesn't feel safe. So yoga is about having profound healing shifts within ourselves now, and to really have a deep sense of peace, self-worth, calm and peace and understanding, with a high self-esteem within ourselves, self-confidence, to know the help is right here, that we can feel supported, taking refuge in the help of yoga. So we can do this. We can do this. And yoga is wonderful, but yoga itself has limitations. It's not an end-all by just going to yoga classes. No, unfortunately, it's not enough. Everything in the world has limitations. Nothing, has a end-all solution. Nothing. And most of our minds, our inner child minds, our wounded part of our minds, the little child inside, it's like wants to believe that this is it. I've found the solution. It's like the pendulum goes from this side to the other, and it's like all or nothing thinking, and that clinging and like wanting to attach to something that helps us feel safe. There is no such thing. The safety is created inside. The love that we seek outside externally is really not a concrete thing. It's a misunderstanding. The value, the worth is already in us when we're born with it. So learning how to create love, how to create self-esteem inside of ourselves, ongoingly, effortlessly, just learning how to use and utilize these disciplines, these philosophies, this wisdom of yoga is actually learned and utilized in yoga therapy. And also yoga is about your willingness to take the time with you. So it is taking the accountability, the responsibility of this important work. Some call it spiritual practices. I say the entire life, living right here, right now, you and I, wherever we are, what kind of a lifestyle we have, whatever experiences we've had, all of that is spiritual. All of life is spiritual practice. Everything from ordering a pizza to watching Netflix all day, all of that we do to feel good, to feel comfortable. Most of us don't want to feel uncomfortable. So being willing to take accountability and really understanding that this is your responsibility, that you are accountable. No one can do it for you. Just like I have to take responsibility and accountability and realizing it is up to me. That's what yoga is all about too. Not wanting to find a shortcut. Spiritual bypass won't work for yoga. So yoga is like, okay, I am willing to take responsibility, and I'm willing to take the time, and I'm willing to do what it takes to get there, to who I'm wishing to become. We're responsible to clean our homes and take showers every day. And if we don't, there'll be a mess, right? There'll be bugs in the house. So this is the shortest, the most brief explanation I could bring to you, what yoga is, what yoga therapy is, and what it takes. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below, and I absolutely will respond to all the comments and questions. Thank you so much for joining me. There will be more videos explaining more things. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my channel and like the video and share it. Namaste.
सा शून्यता या शून्यता तद्रूपम् एवमेव वेदनसंज्ञा संस्कारविज्ञानानि इह शारिपुत्र